All right, all right. We'll make it happen in real time instead of Gunther. We'll cast We'll take the role of the couple man.
This is the value of wrestling, the revolutionary force in wrestling podcasting.
It's your boy Miguel with the Value of Wrestling New Japan Rebound Podcast. I've got a guest for you folks at Stockton Con.
What up, everybody? AJ Kirsch here, the voice and the host of Stockton Con. The value of wrestling is awesome, so subscribe on YouTube. Scan the QR code right here, now. Subscribe, check it out.
There we go.
You'll be glad you did.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah, that part. Hey, man, shout out the Value of Wrestling. I'm right here with the Big Oos, San Jose. We done shut the shit down. Love and respect, though, man. Value of Wrestling. Hello.
Man, thank you, brother. Thank
Oh, you didn't know. Well, you should have known because I've been here more than once today to tell you we were going to be here. So you should be here, ready to join us on this post show for Monday night for your Raw post show review right here on the Value Wrestling, right here live in a living color on YouTube. I know you've missed these beautiful faces, and we're back here after yesterday, and we're here to break down everything, everything that's going on, and everything that's going on. Not on Raw. There we go. I can talk, I promise. But first, let's get into the introduction. So, man, sitting across from me, the one, the only. And of course, you know me, it's me. I'm the big time, the B-I-T, to the T-Y-M-E, the one and the only, here to do it like I only do it right here. And we are live, and Monday Night Raw was live from the Toyota Center in Houston, Texas. Pat McAfee and Michael Cole on commentary. What a great team that is, as always. Gotta love them when they interact, and so what a great show. We're less than a month away from WrestleMania. Is everybody excited? Well, hopefully tonight got you a little more excited if you weren't ready for it already. Here comes Drew McIntyre. He's out for a chat. McIntyre talks about Seth Rollins being a junkie and had to decide to wrestle twice at WrestleMania because that's what he does. We get a CM Punk chat. McIntyre talks about the bigger picture, which is The Rock. Wrestling has evolved over the years, and here we are with a chance to work with the biggest star in the world, Hugh Rollins. Rollins comes out to interrupt, saying we can get to WrestleMania with one more Claymore, so he even takes his glasses off. He gives McIntyre a chance to hit him. McIntyre laughs at Rollins, telling him to get over the bloodline, and tells Rollins to use his own device. Rollins talks about how much McIntyre complains about everything, which is making him sound like that guy from Chicago with all the tattoos, you know what I mean? Anyways, Rollins ready to go right now, but McIntyre bails instead. That's not good off for Rollins, who says of everything he has going on at WrestleMania, including his injuries, McIntyre is the lowest thing on the list. That's enough to. That's almost enough for McIntyre to get back, come back, but he leaves looking frustrated. After this feud needs some attention. I don't think this feud needs attention. I think it's right where it needs to be. Drew looking like the biggest star. Rollins looks like he's got himself strung short. You know what I'm saying? It looks like he's, stretched himself maybe a little too far. Drew taking it serious. Rollins saying, I'm basically not taking this serious. You're not really a threat to me and my title. I think the storyline's working out quite well. Mr. Clarke, what did you think of this opening segment? Yes, exactly. They're doing what I think needs to be best here. But we have to see where this is going to go. We got plenty of time, but no sound. Who has no sound? Paul has no sound. That's what it is, right?
Well, the mic's on, and
my end. I had it off on my end by accident because the recording. That's what killed it. All right. So your thoughts again, sir, on the opening match?
I feel like Drew McIntyre is doing some of the best work of his entire career right now, and despite the story that they're telling about Seth Rollins being kind of stretched thin, I think he's exactly where he needs to be in the storytelling. Yeah.
No, I agree.
I think he's doing.
No, you're done. Yes. Go ahead.
Yes, no, not sure. No, I think Seth Rollins is doing great. He's right. I agree with you. He's right where he needs to be.
Yeah. No, I
detail.
I don't think the story needs anything else. I think Drew is definitely the bigger catalyst here. Rollins being stretched thin. I think it fits everywhere and it needs to be perfectly. I'm a little worried about Seth and some of the stuff that came up later, but we'll have to wait and see how this all unfolds and what's really going down.
But you know what the fun part is? The fact that how much this will play into when CM Punk does come back in, 2 weeks?
Yes. Chad Gable is here to talk to us about the Gauntlet. We got a good little storyline from everybody in this eventually, but we got one from Chad Gable who is really getting it fired up and looking like a contender. Anyways, we got Becky Lynch versus Liv Morgan. This is the fallout from last week's match where Liv Morgan interrupted Lynch and Nia Jax. This was a good, solid match. Liv really putting it over, giving us everything she had. This was a great match between these two women here. Eventually, Lynch gets the manhandle slam. The match went 15 minutes and 29 seconds. That is absolutely a great time for this match. Plenty of time for these two women to go. This is a great. Becky and Liv worked well together in this match. It was a great show here. Of course, after the match, Ripley comes out to interrupt. After some yelling at Liv, Ripley asked if it was worth it. If Lynch is she's kind of painting a picture of Lynch, kind of like Rollins. You're out here wrestling everybody because you can't beat me. You're wearing yourself thin so that when you come to WrestleMania, you can say, well, I didn't win because I did all these matches and got hurt or was too worn out. And Rhea's like, no, I don't want your excuses. So a great storyline here. Great match between Liv Morgan and Becky Lynch. I can't wait to see where we get this going. What is Liv Morgan's role in this, and how will she play out? Where will she wind up on the WrestleMania card? Your thoughts, sir?
Oh, I actually love this match, and it's not like, oh, this was a good TV match. For the time allotted, this was a good match. Period. Period. End discussion. I'm in Becky's already over, so I'm a little more intrigued on where they're going to go with Liv Morgan and see how they keep rising her star.
Mm-hmm.
There's still unfinished business with Nia. There's still unfinished business with Rhea as far as Liv Morgan's concerned.
Mm-hmm.
We already know where Becky's going as far as WrestleMania. So as much as I'm going to enjoy that, my interest is peaked on, like I said, what are they going to do with Liv Morgan and keep continually rising her star?
Yes. Liv Morgan's supposed to play an important role. They made her feel like she might have started to go heel last week. This week, they kind of came back to keeping her baby face. She's playing the right
Mhm.
role, I think. She's real borderline, and I like where she is. She gave the respect nod to Becky. Becky gave her a respect nod. They had that moment of respect, which is awesome. Can't wait to see what we get from them going in the future. Nick
But
Aldis.
by the same token, she could snap at any point, and that's what I think I like. That's the intrigue, the
Yes.
kind of tug I
Yes.
like. Like, maybe is she gonna? Are they gonna keep her face, or will they? Or she snap, or will she just stay a tweener?
Yes. Up next, we had Nick Aldis and Anna Pierce here with their big announcement. It was reported earlier that they were going to have a big announcement, and the big announcement is probably one of the biggest announcements that we've heard in a long time. This is an insane. We've seen ladder matches at WrestleMania in many different variants. We can go back to WrestleMania 10, where the ladder match was made in WWE when Shawn Michaels and Razor Ramon went out there, and Shawn Michaels had a match with the ladder, and Razor Ramon happened to be there too. But it was one of the greatest matches in WrestleMania history. And then, of course, we saw when the Dudley Boys, the Hardy Boys, and Edge and Christian came in and made tag team wrestling and the ladder match to a whole new level. And we've been talking that one of these titles felt like they needed to be in a ladder match. Well, WWE swerved me because I was not seeing this coming. I don't know what Mr. Clarke thinks about it, but they've announced a 6-pack ladder match challenge for the tag team titles. So we're going to get 6 teams, 12 men in the ring, with the titles way above in a ladder match. This is going to be an insane. This is going to be insane. So we know Judgment Day is in there. Over the next few weeks, other tag teams are going to compete. I'm sure DIY is going to be there. The New Catch Republic is going to be in there. I'm sure Imperium will probably be in there. Who else? I don't know, but it's going to get interesting, and this is going to be an insane clusterfuck, I think, of a match. This is going to be something that's going to be...
Term, yes.
It's going to be one of those car wrecks that you just can't turn away from. I'm excited for this. I just hope nobody gets hurt because it's going to be something. These teams are going to bring it because we know if you put Imperium, DIY, the New Catch Republic, I'm sure a New Day are going to be in there because you talk about those 4 teams with Judgment Day and whoever the 5th team is, you talk about those teams, you know they're all going to come and bring it to a higher level. I mean, they're just going to blow it out of the water. Your thoughts?
We had been speculating for a while that there would be some kind of multi-man match, probably with the ladder. But I never saw a tag team multi-man ladder match, a 6-pack challenge. I wasn't expecting that one. Kudos to WWE as a long-time wrestling fan to bringing something that I wouldn't have thought of.
Was that a ladder match that Hardy Boys returned to in WrestleMania, the 4-way? Is that really a ladder match? I don't remember that being a ladder match. Hi, Cat. The cat has become a part of the party. We're going to come over here. Come on. You can come say hi. Yes, it was a ladder match. Okay. It was a ladder match. It was a 4-way, yes, but it was a ladder match. So, yeah, we never seen a 6-pack. That's what's going to be crazy and interesting to see. From there, we got a tag team match. Indy Hartwell and Candice LeRae taking on Ivy Nile and Maxine Dupree. And this is a decent match. It just turned really interesting. Maxine Dupree was in there. It was going for her variant of the worm when Candice LeRae jumped in the ring and chewed her out, telling her the fans don't like her. You shouldn't worry about the fans booing you. You should care about what the women say in the back. Stephen, which is Maxine's dead brother, was here to see this. This was a distraction enough for Indy Hartwell to hit a big boot as Maxine was running out of the ring. It was a very funny and interesting dynamic to see Candice LeRae, the shorter of the one, standing up to Maxine Dupree, backing to Maxine Dupree. I know Candice LeRae is a mom, but it felt like the mom going after the daughter in this situation. Like, I pissed mom off, was kind of the vibe I got this. It was good. It's good to see that they're going to possibly take this Maxine Dupree storyline that came out from a house show where the fans were just ragging on her, that maybe they're going to use this in a storyline to create something out of it. And it looks like Candice LeRae is possibly going heel. It doesn't look like Indy Hartwell will maybe be going with her, but we'll have to wait and see how that plays out. So there's a story here they're telling. Where this plays out, I don't know. Is there something we're going to see at WrestleMania build to, or is this something we're going to see beyond WrestleMania? Your thoughts?
On one hand, there are going to be fans who will let this go, give this a pass, because it's an interesting story. My issue with it, and it is an interesting story, by the way, But my issue with it is, you're in a wrestling contest. You're in a fight. You have someone yelling at you. This would be your opportunity to strike back, and you're not taking that chance. You're getting all, oh my god, like emotional about it. I'm just like, I get it. I just don't think that's the way I would. If I'm in that position, I don't think that's the way I would have handled it.
And if you're ASMR fans, and I'm sure you like me banging my glass against the mic, I do apologize for anybody who had to hear that. I don't know what that sounded like on air, but I was setting down my glass and it bumped into my bike. So if you're an ASMR fan, you might have enjoyed it. If you didn't hear it, thank God. But yeah. Anyways, Judgment Day complains to the general managers about their ladder match. It seems that R-Truth and The Miz are behind it, and it turns out that they're off on media. But R-Truth comes in not realizing it was Monday, and then he gets Damian Priest tonight. So the Awesome Truth may be the other team that's going to get in that tournament. I don't want to see Awesome Truth win the titles here, but they can be in here for a different flavor to the whole contest.
To answer Miguel's comment, as we understand it, the fans were very excessive about it, and that's the problem. And it was at a house show.
It wasn't just, it was mean for mean's sake. I mean, they were booing her, telling her she sucks, she shouldn't wrestle, you know. They were telling her something. They were being vicious in the sense that it was a little over the top, where I'm kind of like, yeah, there's a point where, yes, you can voice your opinion, but to necessarily attack, it was more of an attack on the person than the wrestler. So that's where that comes from. We look back at Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins accepting the Bloodline Challenge, and here is Cody for a chat with Michael Cole, and we got the most emotional Cody we've ever seen. Brody brings up the getting to slap The Rock on SmackDown, says it feels good to slap your boss. The Rock used to be a wrestler, so shouldn't be upset about the whole thing. Cole brings up the stipulation at WrestleMania tag match, wondering why Rollins is so gung-ho to do this. How can Rhodes trust Rollins? Rhodes talks about how people can change because it wasn't that long ago when Cole was in a plexiglass case in a Syracuse singlet. We look back to October when Cole asked if Rhodes winning would be his story. Back to now, Rhodes says that the story isn't about the title anymore, but rather about himself and the fans. Rhodes talks about various fans and relatives who are here for him, including his mother, including his sister, who's only, and his mother being the only parent he has left. He can't hand the title to Dusty, but he sure can hand it to her. Rhodes says that the story isn't about him and brings up Roman Reigns calling it the third ending last year. Now we're coming to the end because WrestleMania, he's finishing the story. More good stuff here. Great stuff with Cody. We got a real emotional Cody, which you can't help get behind. I hope we're in the bottom of the ninth inning come WrestleMania. I hope we're seeing what is to come so we can get to the next step. But this was an awesome opportunity and a great segment with Cody. Cody being very emotional, very real, touching on stuff that is real. It was that blurring of that line that we don't get enough in wrestling on any of these products of shoot work, where you're blurring that line and bringing reality into the concept. It was great. Cody was awesome. So it was okay for Cody to be this emotional, but I need to see the fire up Cody come back to get ready for what's to come.
My question though is, when about the comment about slapping your boss, I'm like, did we just have a slight little tap to the Attitude Era? Just a little reminder of what it's like to smack your boss?
Yeah. Just a little bit. From there, we see Ricochet getting ready for the Intercontinental title WrestleMania after winning the Gauntlet match.
Bless you.
After what he believes is winning the Gauntlet match. And then JD McDonough is ready to win the Gauntlet match too. And then we get Becky and Liv Morgan shaking hands in the bags when Nia Jax comes in and wrecks both of them to continue that storyline. And so Nia Jax and Becky Lynch are going to face off next week. And I guess a no holds bar contest. I forget what it is, false count anywhere. There was some stipulation. I'm kind of forgetting what it is now.
I must miss that part.
I thought it was going to be something like that. I'll have to see if we find anything. From there, we got the Kabuki Warriors versus Shayna Baszler and Zoe Starks. This is a good match between all four of these women. Shayna Baszler and Zoe Starks looking strong and confident here. But again, the Kabuki Warriors get the win. Dakota Kai offers a distraction, meaning it's assisted insane elbow for the pin on Baszler at 10 minutes, 22 seconds. Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark just kind of there. I don't know what we're going to see with them. Hopefully after WrestleMania, we'll see them in a better direction. I don't know who the Kabuki Warriors are actually going to face at WrestleMania to defend these titles. There's a lot of options here. I don't know if it'll be Shayna and Zoe again. We just saw it. I don't know if Shayna and Zoe feel like they are the next. You know, they're there, but I don't feel like they are the team that you would say, yes, the titles need to be on them.
See,
Your
I feel
thoughts?
the exact opposite. To me, they're the only team that's been built to be the next. So the fact they were defeated tonight without any, like, this feud must continue, kind of feel. I'm like, where do you go with the Kabuki Warriors now? Like, they've either beaten everyone else, or there's no other team, another female team that looks ready to take on the champions.
It'll be interesting to see what they do with that. From there, Andrade comes into Judgment Day with Rhea Ripley saying she'd like to talk some business with him when Dominic Mysterio gets back. Works for Andrade, but Damian Priest wants to worry about the ladder match. So we got more of this Andrade, Rhea trying to partner up with Andrade, Dominic. It's going to be interesting. Where is Andrade going to fall in all of this? Who knows? We've gotten a lot of things where people could replace certain people in Judgment Day. I feel like Damian Priest is going to leave Judgment Day at some point. I think Rhea and Shawn, watch them bring the Iconics, maybe. I'd like to see Dom and Rhea go out on their own. I'm ready for that Latino Heat China era with a dominant. I'd like to see them do their own way of doing that. Something, not the same thing, but a similar idea. I'm ready for them to break away. I'm ready for Balor to be more on his own, or maybe in a different direction, or maybe he gets with OC and rebuilds the club in WWE. If you're bringing in Tama Tonga, that might be a way to put Tama Tonga over there instead of with the Bloodline, but we got to assume maybe in the Bloodline storyline. So a lot of options there. Damian Priest is set to become a babyface. It's almost time to pull that trigger.
In wild speculation, there are some who think that where this storyline is going pertaining to Andrade is to have him tag with Dominic Mysterio and maybe have Mommy as a part of the team.
Could be interesting. We'll have to see how that plays out. We'll have to see how that plays out. Because, I don't know. It's interesting. Of course, you got to, I don't know if you need two tag teams in Judgment Day. It just depends.
I didn't say no. What I'm suggesting out of the wild speculation I've read is not a part of the Judgment Day, but that Dom and Andrade become a tag team, not a part of the Judgment Day.
No,
but he still has his obviously Dom still has association with Rhea.
No, I was going with that because I'm like, you don't really need two teams and two tag teams in Judgment Day, so it would be kind of an end of Judgment Day for sure with that. Which I think we're at that point. I don't know what more you can do with Judgment Day. There's not a major world. Damian Priest and Finn Balor could win the world championship, but I don't feel like they're dominant heads. I mean, it's Rhea's really the dominant head, and I feel that she needs. They're going to lose all their gold. I think that's what's going to be the catalyst. I still feel Rhea's going to steal Damian Priest's briefcase to cash in. I just feel like, there's something that's going to happen. I can't wait to WrestleMania because I think that's where we're going to see more of the fallout of Judgment Day. From there, we got Shinsuke Nakamura talking about the Gauntlet and Bronson Reed. We got a bunch of video package from everybody in the Gauntlet. It was a really good touch to put them in there. From there, we got Damian Priest versus R-Truth. This was a good, solid match. R-Truth had some good moments in here. It almost looked like he was going to pull off a huge victory. Eventually, DIY came down to help him out, but in the end, DIY got jumped by Balor and JD McDonough, which distracted Truth, who drove off the top, and then he comes back into a clothesline, setting up for a South of Heaven. 8 minutes, 3 seconds. This is a great match. Damian Priest looking good as always, but they really give R-Truth this feeling of, being somewhat of a threat. He almost got it. He almost got it.
They gave him a showcase, and that's what they need to do to keep both performers over, even though you're still trying to ascend one over the other.
Mm-hmm. No, exactly. So, it's a good match. Some people might not have liked it, but it's what it would needed to be. Damian is going to win. But R-Truth feeling important here. We'll have to see how that plays in to that. Of course, post-match, there was a beatdown. And then we had Becky challenge Nia Jax to a last woman standing match next week. So there you go. It is a last woman standing match. Anyways, here is Jey Uso out for a chat, and he wants to talk about Jimmy. Jay came here for a fresh start, but Jimmy and the Bloodline won't let him go. The challenge is thrown out for WrestleMania, and he wants Jimmy to accept so he can beat him down. So we're going to get Jimmy and Jay. We can't wait till SmackDown to see what Jay is going to say about Jimmy and this challenge. But the challenge is there. It's going to be brother versus brother, twin versus twin, Uso versus Uso. We get a beautiful package
Blink
of Gunther.
no blink.
We get a video package of Gunther's Intercontinental title reign. We get the history of the Intercontinental title. We get many showings of some of the greatest Intercontinental champions in wrestling or WWE, WWF history. A great video package, a great montage that is really showing how great Gunther is and the history and the lineage of the Intercontinental title. Coming from guys like Pat Patterson, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, the Macho Man, Randy Savage, the Ultimate Warrior, Roddy Piper, Bret the Hitman Hart, Mr. Perfect. We can throw in the Mountie in there because if you don't know, Jacques Rougeau was still one of the greatest tag teams, not only as the Mountie, but he was one of the greatest tag team wrestlers back in the day. Got to give him credit, Mr. Perfect, Bret Hart, Razor Ramon, Shawn Michaels having one of the best Intercontinental title matches. The Owen Hart had it, Chris Jericho, The Miz. I mean, on and on the list can go of so many great Intercontinental champions. The Rock, Stone Cold Steve Austin. It used to be the workhorse title, and Gunther's done great things with it and made it feel impressive. So from there, we got the announcement, which I announced earlier on one of my big time rants. But the newest member of the Hall of Fame is Muhammad Ali, and for some of us, it was a shocker because I think we all thought he was already in there. But no, Muhammad Ali, I'm sure, is going to go down in the celebrity ring of the WWE Hall of Fame. Congratulations to the Ali family. Unfortunately, Muhammad Ali won't be there. But can't wait to hear what we get from the family about Muhammad Ali, the greatest of all times. I mean, it's Muhammad Ali, but yeah, well, what do you say? You just say Muhammad Ali.
I think that's why some of us were so surprised. Like, he's not in the Hall of Fame already? I mean, he was literally at early WrestleMania.
So this brings us to our gauntlet match. And we started off with J.D. McDonough and Ricochet. And they gave us a great showing. Both these guys looking very impressive. They left it open. I didn't know if they were going to give a win here to McDonough or if they were going to give it to Ricochet. They talked a lot about Ricochet still trying to be the babyface, trying to be the good guy, trying to persevere. I don't know if they're setting up Ricochet for a heel turn. Could be very interesting. Well, they told a lot there that they're like, it sounds like they're leading. Like, he keeps trying. He keeps doing it the right way. But, he's ready to. And, of course, J.D. McDonough, eventually, Ricochet hitting a good-looking shooting star press from the top, gets the pin at 11 minutes, 53 seconds. Then Ricochet probably wished he hadn't gotten that pin because out came big Bronson Reed. Ricochet just quickly hit him with a suicide dive. We got an Oklahoma Slam in there. And eventually, Bronson Reed hits up top. Lands a big tsunami. This part went 14 minutes and 14 seconds overall, or at the 14-minute, 14-second mark overall.
Right.
So, the first match ended at the 11:53. This match ended in a couple minutes later at the 14:14 mark. Mm-hmm. And this brings out Sami Zayn. And Sami goes off. Reed pulls him out. We get a rock bottom. They go for it. Reed loading up for a Super Samoan drop, only to have Zayn reverse it into a sunset bomb for a pin. This match went to the 20:58 mark. Sami Zayn getting over on Bronson Reed. This then brought down Shinsuke Nakamura, but Reed continued to attack Zayn after the match, hitting a tsunami as Nakamura slowly made his way to the ring and didn't make any big rush to it. Eventually, Zayn recovers and gets enough for Zayn to hit a Huluva kick. This went to the 28:35 minute mark. And then the match got serious because here came Chad Gable, the two men that would probably, out of everybody, you'd be like, these are the two men to do it. These are the two men that were last in the ring, Chad Gable, Sami Zayn, and they had a burner. These two gave everything. The last part of that ended at 28-35. The match ended at 41 minutes and 25 seconds when Zayn hits a reverse into a cradle for a pin. He reverses the ankle lock, getting the pin on 1, 2, 3. Gable goes down in defeat. Sadly, I think a lot of people wanted Gable to win this match, but Sammy comes out the winner. But this was a magical moment. This was awesome to see. Zayn is going to get Gunther at WrestleMania, but this was a hell of a barn burner. This was a hell of a match at the end here. Sami Zayn and Chad Gable brought it and took up the level of all this at the end. So, yeah. Good solid match all the way through. It told a great story, but those last two, Chad Gable and Sami Zayn, were a barn burner. I mean, they took it up to a whole new level. Mr. Clarke.
So I'm going to rewind a little bit, go back to the beginning of the match. When you have Ricochet and JD McDonough going over, and they're getting this showcase, they're getting some like real time here. For a gauntlet match, they had a huge chunk of time, so that was kind of interesting. But the let's see here, the moment Bronson Reed came in, you knew Ricochet was screwed. I have another word for it, but I'm not going to say that on air. He was effed. I knew it.
Yeah.
Everything else after that point was like, okay, show me what you're going to do. Show me how the rest of this is going to play out. And having it come down to Chad Gable and Sami Zayn was perfect. It's the two people they've been that you could really see, like, okay, one of these two guys is definitely going to get this match. And this is before the gauntlet match was even announced. Because, like, they were the strongest stories, in my opinion. So the fact they came down to these two is like, okay, they gave us what they gave us, which we knew was going to be good. And there are those who would prefer to see Chad Gable go over. There are those, I think the audience is split. I think there are those who are very happy that Sami Zayn went over. I think this is going to be a good match at WrestleMania between Sami Zayn and Gunther. And I'm interested to see what they do now with Chad Gable. Yeah. Now, either at WrestleMania or after WrestleMania, they got to do something with him now. Because they've told such a good story leading up to this point.
Well, and there's speculation that his shoulders weren't all the way down. I don't know if that'll play into anything. I don't know if that was accidental or intentional. I guess it's a wait and see to see if that plays into anything. But we'll have to see. But right now, it's going to be Sami Zayn versus Gunther, unless they're going to make it a triple threat and add Chad Gable in there too. So a lot of it's going to be a wait and see. So, yeah, a good solid Raw. Another good episode. I think they really upped it this week, and I can't wait to see what we get throughout the rest of this week. And more build to WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
What were your overall thoughts on the show?
I thought it was actually pretty good. It's like, like the way you have things on our poll, as awesome being the top, great, average, or boring. Like, I thought it was a great show. I mean, it progressed things for WrestleMania. It progressed general storylines. You had good matches. Like, I really have nothing to complain about.
Yeah. No, I think we got there. Everything fit in. We got a great gauntlet match with everybody was in it. It carried a good portion of the show. And everything else was definitely good. We started off hot. We stayed warm through most of this stuff. It didn't really cool down at any point in time. It was a very solid Raw. It was a very good Raw. Definitely a good watch and an exciting time. Can't wait to see how it all plays out going forward. So, shockingly, we've gotten through this review a little faster than I thought we would. But it was a simple show. It was a good show. It was a solid show. It was something that, there wasn't a whole lot to be there. Drew McIntyre and Seth Rollins had a great storytelling there. Cody Rhodes did really good with what he was doing. And so I think we're definitely excited what is to come next. Of course, we have SmackDown this week. We'll get to hear what Jimmy has to say. The Rock's supposed to be on SmackDown, so we're going to see how they continue that storyline. Will The Rock put more content up on social media before he goes on the SmackDown? Definitely something we're going to have to wait and see. And, of course, we have Wednesday, which is in the middle of the week. We talk about Dynamite, and Dynamite set up to be something special. So definitely be interesting. Of course, here in a little while, in a couple hours, the newest episode of the New Japan Rebound podcast will be coming to you live right here on the Value of Wrestling. So make sure you ring that bell so when that comes up, you'll be notified when that comes live up on the air. And it's all done by Mr. Miguel Z, who's been sitting in the chat. So he'll be bringing that content to you later today. Yes, for some of us, it is March 12th. It is Tuesday, and everybody rocking to the party. And of course, any new content, there was a couple of videos put up today talking about different things. There was some earlier news, of course, the Muhammad Ali story getting inducted into Hall of Fame. And then there were some other stories that broke later in the evening, kind of when Raw was coming on the air in the West or the East Coast. So go check out the content. We have we are growing quickly and very happily. My train of thought's just gone. Blah, 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 blah. There we go. No, we thank you for being here. We thank you for joining us. We appreciate you coming here, being live. If you're watching this later, always feel free to join in the comments. Tell us what you thought of Raw. Vote in the poll. Always exciting to hear what you think. We want you to be part of this. Of course, we'll be back on Wednesday with your AEW Dynamite post-show review. We'll break down everything going on with Big Business. In a couple hours, like I said, you will have the New Japan Pro Wrestling Rebound podcast coming up. There may be any new content. Friday, we'll be back with SmackDown. And then, of course, next Sunday, always with the Value of Wrestling, a Roundup podcast. There we go. Rebound Roundup. When I start saying those too many times, I get my tongue tied. Anyways, make sure you ring that bell for notifications. Give this video a thumbs up. Let the world know that you like it. Share this out with friends, family, and everybody that you know that loves professional wrestling. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Join the Value of Wrestling family. We are getting near 300, which is awesome, and we are still working to get to 1,000. That is the goal. Our next big goal that we are trying to achieve. We hope that you will join the Value of Wrestling family, become part of this team. Let's go forward. Mr. Clarke, is there anything else that you would want to say?
Let's see. Thursdays, I'm always dropping the weekend previewing from Thursday to the following Wednesday of shows. Then, it's always gonna be fun, on Sunday when we have the weekly roundup podcast, because we got a nice little celebration to talk about at that point.
Yes, no, it'll be awesome. Roundup, it's going to be a big deal. We're about to reach our 500th upload. So we're going to be doing a big celebration on the Roundup podcast. And we'll, be doing a little celebration of that. That's an impressive feat, 500 uploads consistently. And, of course, I'm working on This Day in Wrestling History, which is a daily short that you can find on the channel. I've been doing it for 160 days now, I think. We're almost to the halfway point. And, of course, I did it on a leap year, so I have to go 366 days of that. Instead of your traditional 365, but that should be fun and exciting. Check that out every day. It's an awesome little bit of clips where you learn a little bit about history. I've learned a lot. Sometimes we go far back. I think the earliest we've ever gone back is 1923. And so it's always great stuff to see where history in wrestling was and where we are now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I guess it's time to close up. We've hit a good mark here, and we're going to say goodnight. So long and farewell, and we will be back Wednesday live in a couple hours again. You'll have the New Japan Rebound podcast coming to you live with Mr. Miguel Z breaking down New Japan Pro Wrestling and some type of wrestling tournament that I'm forgetting about because I'm not
the New Japan Cup.
Yes, the New Japan Cup. That's what's going on, and he's going to break all that down. Who's in the tournament? Who's doing what? Who's moving along? Lots of interesting stuff. If you love New Japan Pro Wrestling, definitely tune into that. If you're not a big fan or don't know about New Japan Pro Wrestling, get over there. Learn. Mr. Miguel is going to teach you all about New Japan Pro Wrestling. He's going to get you up to date, let you know who's who. So even when you watch AEW, you might know some of the name of these stars and not be completely lost when you watch it going, who's that guy? Or why is Grandpa beating up on his granddaughter? But that's on a whole different show. Right. Anywho. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being here. If you're watching this later, we always appreciate your, checking us out. So lots of great stuff coming in the future, and we can't wait till the next one. For now, we're going to get out of here. We're going to say good night. La-di-da-di.